guys, welcome back. So this is this week's Ogham reading. This Ogham reading is going to be for Eliptica24, who was the first person to request one. I will pick them randomly hereafter, but given she was the first person to ask on the video last week, therefore you get an extra special one the day before Samhain. That's kind of cool. So once again, I am offering these Ogham readings as a sort of way of giving back, to say thank you for the subscribers, thank you for people who stick with me and comment and or like and subscribe and all that good stuff. So these are just free Ogham readings as my way of saying thank you and giving something back. If you want to be included within the list, please pop your name down below the video if you haven't already done so, and we will pick randomly. There will only be one a week. I've got a lot on right now anyway, but I often get quite invested in reading, which is why I don't tend to do it for other people. I did do it for other people for a while and found it very draining, but with the Ogham it's something else. So the setup is as it was last week, and this is the setup we will follow, which is 7, 3 staves and 4 cards. I have always utilised the number 7 with regards to readings. It's how I have always preferred to do it. It's sort of past moving into present, moving into future, and the number 7 is associated with the shaman and the energies and the interconnectedness of the cycles, and therefore it's always just felt right to me. Okay, so if we can zoom in a little, yeah, there we go. So the first Ogham in the staves in the upright position is Elder, or Rui. A lot of people actually are afraid of Rui, but personally I think it's one of the most beautiful Ogham. It's associated with the crone energy, death energy, passing of old cycles, change, death, rebirth, renewal, things of that nature. In the past, and this reading again is for Eliptica24, perhaps I should have focused a bit more on that. So I sort of focused and visualised and sort of meditated a little bit on that first, on her first, and then pulled the Ogham and the cards. So the first one, as I said, is Elder, and it being in the past, it may have been an ending of some description. It could again be in reference to the time of the year, but given that it's in the past, and then the 2 Ogham that follow it, which are actually in a reverse position, it's possibly the ending of something that needed to end, but it wasn't necessarily an easy disconnect. It wasn't perhaps something that you necessarily wanted to end right when it did, but it was meant to end then, because it's in the upright position. And it's led to a few negative experiences or feelings since, judging by the other 2 staves. And it was probably quite a difficult ending of some description. Like I said, it's perhaps something that wasn't wanted, perhaps you felt it wasn't merited, it was a difficult ending, an unexpected change. Put you through it a little bit with regards to personal transformation. Or perhaps it was putting to, I get this really strong sense it was a putting to end of something that you were engaging in that needed to end, but it left you a little bit adrift for having to do it. And the Oghams that we sort of look into following that is Gorse or Ogham in the reverse. Okay, so Gorse for me is a big Ogham of burning off negativity. So with it being in the reverse position, it may be that you felt that this death of something, this end of something, actually invited more negativity into your life initially than it solved. So there was perhaps negative reactions to you ending this. Perhaps there were other people involved in you stepping away from something, you ending something, putting very firm full stop on relationships with particular people perhaps, and they reacted quite badly to that. It could just also sort of talk about the fact that it may have had slight detriment on material possessions and things of that nature as well. Although I get the feeling there's something of a negative reaction going on here. As a result of the ending of whatever it was. It could, of course, be talking about the ending, or perhaps if you ended a particular financial income related to people, or you put distance between yourself and other people, which meant a loss of finance, was, you know, and it was immediately affecting you in a quite negative sense as a result of the ending that had to happen. And then we have Beth, silver birch, in the reverse position. And silver birch in a reverse position again speaks to negative reactions. It's a Ogham of new beginnings, and therefore if the reactions of other people maybe even in your present you feel are holding you back from fully engaging in moving on, moving forward. Again, if it was career related, it's maybe that you feel that this ending and this financial loss has held you back from moving on a bit. It's created a bit of a rut in the present-ish. We're talking about the immediate past into the present now. There may be a stagnation and a feeling of being stuck because of these things that have happened. And the need to really banish and cleanse yourself and really engage with purification energy, which, given it's Samhain tomorrow, is perfect energies for that sort of thing. And then moving into the more present, the sort of the advice for the present, down here we have Gorton Ivy, and that's exactly the Ogham that you want to be seeing in regards to overcoming something. Gort or ivy is the plant of spirals and overcoming and self-preservation and really getting through things, overcoming despite any obstacles. The ability to grow and keep going is definitely there for you, and it just speaks of a need to be tenacious, a need to keep going. It can speak to an increase in finances as well, but generally speaking, for me, Gort is all about the pulling oneself up out of whatever the funk is, especially in terms of purifying yourself, of really transforming yourself in the way you want to. If there is an underlying career monetary element to this, it also speaks of a transformation of self and career in the same breath. There is the definite potential right now in the present to overcome these sort of niggles that were in the past and the endings of something that have had to be put to death, basically. And it does suggest perhaps that a lot of it is, it's tapping on your emotions, but it's within you, so it's within your power to overcome your negative feelings, negative attachments to whatever it was that you had to put to death. And then we have, in the present, moving into the future, Col or Hazel, and that's very much about your own creativity. It's often a wish fulfillment style Ogham. It can be about wisdom and engaging with your own powers of divination and psychic awareness to really bolster your own self, bolster your creativity and push forward. It may in this position be the wisdom that has come from the situation, so that it means that this was a necessary lesson to have gone through, to have overcome, in order to stand you in good stead for the future. Hazel can be about, wishing for something, but given its position here, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's about coming to that realization that yes, I've been through this, and yes, it kind of sucked, but I needed to go through it, and I'm better for it. I've overcome that, and I feel accomplished in the overcoming of that situation. Followed by the Sea. The Sea is a complicated card within the Ogham. There we go. And it can mean travel very literally. So travel could very well be in your future cards, particularly if this has a financial career slant to it. But it could have all other connotations anyway. But there is a sense of moving on from the past, and it may be a physical journey or it may just be an internal one. Given that it follows the sort of understanding and coming to a wisdom, it may be about the inner transformation that will stand you in good stead, so you become who you want to be and you put yourself on the path, the journey that you want to be on, rather than relying on anybody else for affirmation or confirmation. And it means that you are able to row your own boat now, or going forward. And that's the kind of intuitive sense that I get from looking at this card in this position in immediate future. The ability for you to take the helm and to steer yourself where you want to go. Yep. And then we have you in the final future card. Right, so you is a death card again. So you have a death card right at the end and a death card right at the beginning. So for me, you in this position is going to be rebirth. absolutely. Whew, shivers. Destiny, rebirth, reincarnation, new beginnings. It may mean that you will come into contact with your past. The things that you have had to overcome may rear themselves again. Those people might try and come back. Those people might try and draw you into old patterns. But you have to focus on everything that you have been through in order to transform, to move on, to get to a better place, to be more in control of your life and how you want it to go. And you finally got to the point where you've overcome their negative voices or whatever, and start to have some self-belief and some self-independence. And you have to fully realise that you need to keep going in that process of rebirth and not fall back into old patterns of behaviour or old habits or old relationships with people who aren't helping you along your path, who are sinking the ship rather than helping you sail it, I guess, with the sea being right there. It does speak to your ability to transform. It really, to me, speaks of rebirth in the final position, and it definitely speaks to evolving into who you're meant to become and who you want to become. You feel spiritually enriched as a result of this process. You're starting to feel strengthened again, and you actually, one of the things that you is about as well is accessing the information that you had forgotten or you were refusing to engage with. So that in that outcome suggests that the knowledge that has been gained from this experience is exactly what you needed to know and learn and feel and go through in order to further progress who you are as a person, your spiritual path or your journey. So there you go. I hope that was helpful. As I've said on the other Ogham video, this is also about me expanding myself, learning and engaging with the Ogham in a divinational sense, and hopefully giving something back. So I hope that was helpful, and many blessings.